Hey folks, welcome back to Project Motor Racing, and we move on to Spa, which is a bit of a challenge for me. Well, it was a challenge in the Porsche. It was the circuit that encouraged the change that we have made. But let's progress. Race 2 of the European Championship, 6 laps. It's another spring day, so we'll see what the weather brings. Should be a clear day, I believe. Can't remember if this is a race that's later on in the day or not. It's a warm day, which is quite nice. So we've got 10-minute practice, 10-minute qualifying, usual race. I am on the controller today. Vehicle setup 1. What does that change? I don't remember. We're going to go back to the default setup. We're going to have a little bit of traction control, a little bit more ABS. I'm on the controller today, so we probably need a little bit more ABS. We probably don't need a huge amount of fuel. We're going to take a little bit of preload out of the diff, and that should be good, I think. So we'll do a practice lap just to get my eye in, and then we will jump into qualifying. You might notice the HUD has moved around a little bit. I tweaked that a little bit when I was racing after the last video. I kind of like this a little bit more because it focuses my eye on where things are, basically. So it makes it a little bit easier to see what's going on. Now, rumour has it, the other drivers have taken some brave pills and might be a little bit more competitive this weekend. We'll see. We'll see. That's the rumour around the pits, that they've had their brave pills and they might be a little bit faster this time. No significant updates, re-sponsors or anything. So, yep, nothing moving there at the moment. There are some rumours going around that so some of the GT teams are here this weekend racing, and allegedly some of the smaller teams might have their eye on us. Maybe it's like a backup driver or something. So, yep, we'll see if, if I can not ruin that potential opportunity by trashing the car or having an awful performance. Yeah, basically at the moment it's kind of get our heads down, try and race well, and get a bit of money in the bank if we can do well in this championship, and just, yep, keep grinding away. So we'll see how we can do. Now, almost instantly, and we have a habit of doing this, I know, this feels so much better than trying to get around the track in the Porsche. That car was so difficult to drive in the end. Now, some of that was maybe me and my style of overdriving cars. I know I do that. I know I'm not particularly good at driving these cars. I have fun playing this game. This is fun, what I'm trying to do with the game. So, you know, and going back to playing on controller is going to be weird. I've done the bulk of my playing lately on the wheel, but today it's not convenient to do that. So that'll be interesting because it's a slightly different feel. You know, you've not quite got the subtlety on the brake and the accelerator. Definitely not on the steering. The steering feels very all or nothing. But yeah, I'm stacking the old excuses up already. So we'll see how we get on. I'd like to have another solid performance, obviously. Particularly on a circuit that has been a bit of a, I don't know what the right word is, nightmare. But I feel that was more the car than the circuit. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping / expecting / assuming that the game is going to update at some point soon. It's been a little while since we had the last one. I got that corner slightly wrong. It's been a little while since the last update. And now, I'm not someone who expects weekly, even fortnightly or whatever pace of updates. The updates come as the devs get them sorted. I'd much rather they took the time they need to develop an update, get it tested properly, and release it when it's ready, than release an update at whatever pace certain players think they should come out at. And it'd be kind of cool if it came with, new features that are on the roadmap and that kind of thing. So, yeah. There is a fairly large rework of the career mode coming at some point, and a bit of me really wants that because I play the career mode the most. I don't play I don't play online. It's not my thing. I quite like the single race weekends because you can do multi-class races and those are fun. But also that change might nuke this. It might destroy what I'm trying to do here. So that would be less fun. But hey, maybe they'll bring some of what I'm trying to do here actually into the game and I won't need to do work outside of the game. So, hey, that would be awesome. Who knows? I did send the video that I did of what I would like career mode to be, which is this, to the devs. Because as a Giants partner and therefore Project Motor Racing partner, because I was at an appropriate level to be able to just do that, I have the ability to interact with the devs. And the devs are really, the devs are in the public PMR Discord anyway, which is really cool. You can get access to them. You can interact with them. And I don't think people necessarily realise kind of what a privileged position. Privilege is maybe not the right word, but what a useful thing that is. So yeah. Anyway, so that change, if and when it comes, and I don't know what that change will be, will be really cool, potentially. So let's jump into quali, see how we get on there. Yeah, and I have no idea when updates are coming or anything like that, but by the time you see this video, an update could have come out because obviously there's a lag between recording and release, and all that kind of thing. So not much of a lag at the moment because I'm recording this the day before I want to release the video. It's just how it's worked out. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's not really less, but anyway, let's get our heads down. Let's see if we can get in a decent qualifying lap. I always feel like practice is a bit of it kind of fools you because practice doesn't seem to always be as hot on the limits, the track limits. So yeah, practice always kind of fools me a little bit. So yeah, let's see how we get on now. We're actually in the race. Well, not in the race, in qualifying, which imposes the racing track limits. That's what I meant. But where I said the other drivers have had their brave pills, what that actually means is I believe I have turned the difficulty up to 82% rather than 80% now. Within the game interface, you can't change the difficulty mid-event, and we are mid-event. You can only change it post when you finish between championships or between, picking a new event. You can change the difficulty. But because we had such an easy time in the last race, I felt that we should have a little bit more of a challenge. But I went in to the save game file and changed the difficulty, and I'm hope it appears to have worked in the menus and stuff. So we'll see if it has actually worked. I've done all I can. I've done all I can. Now, it could have gone the other way, and they could have made the AI harder, and I could have been screwed the other way. So, you know. But I'm trying to keep this challenging enough for my level of driving skill that it's still interesting for folks to watch. So we actually want to be engaging and interacting with the other cars, not just the only thing that happens to slow us down is me crashing. You know? Right, out lap done. Let's get on to a hot lap, shall we? So I think it was Tank who was second. So he's the guy that we kind of want to keep an eye on for the overall championship. It would be nice to get a bit of a gap on him. Now, I know that the last race in this series is going to be my kind of... I'm going to struggle because it's in the wet. I know it's in the wet because I set it up to be in the wet. And it's on a circuit that I'm not particularly good at because I'm not very familiar with it. So we need to be going into the last race with a buffer if we're going to win the championship. Now, I'm looking a long way off ahead, obviously. Not just in terms of races in this championship, but potentially in video count. But, yeah. But yeah, I do need to think ahead because I've seen the long-range weather forecast, let's say. The suspension of disbelief for me is very difficult. Even though it's supposed to be immersive, I know that the last race is going to be in the wet and I'm going to struggle. So in order to have a chance of taking overall in the championship, we need to have done well. I know that. I think the next race, there is a chance of rain, but it's only a chance of rain. So I think it's the next one, or maybe the one after that. So, yeah. Now, I've done some races in the rain where I've done okay, but some of the one on, I think it's on Zolder, that's the circuit, I really struggled. But I just can't get I've struggled to get to grips with that circuit full stop. So anyway, let's see if we can put in a decent lap. I seem to be doing okay on the traction control and ABS settings, which is nice. I think we've got ABS maxed. Now we might do better if we reduce the ABS a little bit, because I think having that cranked does kind of hamper the performance of the car a little bit. But on the controller, I do think the driving aids really make a big difference to your ability to get around the circuit. So that's what I'm going for first. Just get around the track. I'm then going to need to pause for a second once we've done that. Okay, we're back. So that was a reasonably good lap, I think. We're going to go for another one. And we're going to try and just knock the ABS back a couple of notches. And then see if we can get another lap in. We are quite a bit quicker, which is surprising me and making me wonder if my difficulty change actually stuck, or whether it was enough of a difficulty change. But it's their first out lap, and they do get quicker as they go through the session. So yeah. But we've only got 3 minutes left of quali, so you know, let's see. I'm going to do one more lap with this reduced ABS setting. See if we can still be somewhat coherent, because It might be nice to run. I'm way off the pace already, but pausing kind of breaks your flow, I find. That's my excuse. I'm sticking with it. Certainly pausing to stop and go do something else, which is what I had to do, has broken my flow. But if I can still get round the lap, it's nice knowing I can run slightly less ABS. Because generally having less artificial stuff going on with the car is quicker. So, yeah. And we might take this as an in lap, although I have driven the pit lane on this circuit quite a few times, as I explained when we first switched to this car. I do seem to be a lot slower this lap. But it seems to have got a lot slower. But anyway, and they've crept up a little bit, but I mean, that was a very good best lap / potential best lap, but that's because we've done one hot lap, so that kind of is how it works, because it just takes your best sector times. I think that's how the potential best lap thing works. Do we try and do one more lap? I think we're just going to go with being happy with that. So, vehicle setup. So we need 13 laps of fuel. We've got 15 in there. I think we're good. Bosh.
You've topped the session. P1 is yours. Awesome job.
There we are. Theoretically, quite a bit quicker. Still. So let's do this thing. Sorry for that awful accent. Let's see what we can do, eh? Let's see what we can do. 6 laps around Spa. Setting off in pole. And yeah, quite a bit quicker in qualifying, but can we maintain that? So I did a little bit of a test on the circuit beforehand with my fellow drivers, with their current level of enthusiasm, and I did okay. So maybe my current performance is not unrepresentative of how it should have been, but let's see how we get on over the course of 6 laps. There is every chance that we're going to have some sort of monumental moment, and all of my worrying about being quick is for naught. So yeah, let's not count our fried chicken before we've laid the eggs. You know, I never make that reference in any other format than Street Motor Racing videos. Oh well. As we're talking about cars, the Grand Tour is apparently coming back with a new cast. Just know, Amazon. Just know it's not the Grand Tour. In the same way that the British Broadcasting Corporation tried to bring back Top Gear with a different cast, and personally I haven't seen a single episode of it with a different cast, the Grand Tour will not work with a different cast. It is not the format that works. It is the trio of Jeremy Clarkson, James May and Richard Hammond that works. Caveat. the format sort of works in that there are other places you can watch people go try and do adventures in cars with a group of people that are moderately funny and it is moderately entertaining. You will not recreate the magic that was the actual Grand Tour by finding 3 people, whether they're funny, whether you've got the mix similar, and recreate that. I'm sorry, yes, you might disagree, but you're wrong, in my opinion. And like a-holes, everyone has them, but you're here to listen to mine. So, and my opinion is that you're not going to recreate it. I need to... 1 second, folks. Need to move the mouse pointer out of the way because that's probably bugging some of you, because it would have bugged me if I was watching. Yeah, you can't recreate the magic like that. I'm gonna be that he doesn't watch these videos because he doesn't like this game. So I spoke about this in a farm sim video, not particularly the Grand Tour, I don't think. But that you can't recreate the magic of the past. And I was called out by one of my friends for trying to do it in Farm Sim with the Maypole Farm series that I play on there, because I was trying to recreate the magic of playing that in FS22, in FS25. And I was fairly called out on it in that. Is it the same thing? Maybe. But not on the scale that Amazon are trying to do, because the Grand Tour is a money printing machine and they're trying to keep printing the money. My Maypole Farm series in FS22 on YouTube was not a money printing machine by a long way. It was just something that gave me dopamine. And yeah, I guess the Grand Tour gives Jeff Bezos dopamine by making him lots of money, but again, not on the same scale. And yeah, I think, yes, maybe try and create a similar format TV show, but have it as a similar format TV show that's not the Grand Tour. We'll all know you're trying to recreate the Grand Tour, but at least let that go. Be more Elsa. Only works if you've got kids or, nieces and nephews or whatever. Be more Elsa. Yeah. Now, Amazon, I assume it's Amazon's YouTube channel, which sounds weird, have a very funny YouTube short of Jeremy Clarkson looking through CVs of potential applicants for it. It's very well done. Doesn't mean I'm going to watch the new Grand Tour series. I'd much rather watch James May's YouTube channel and Richard Hammond's YouTube channel and old Grand Tour than 3 pretend people. Yeah. So. Something that I was musing about as I was driving home from work yesterday. So my commute home from work is an hour and a half on a good day. Yesterday it was about an hour and 40-ish minutes of very boring driving. I tend to listen to audiobooks as I drive or podcasts. I was listening to an audiobook yesterday and my brain was fairly in neutral because it had been a fairly tiring day. So one of the people I work with has an MX-5. I think he commutes to work in it. He has a reasonable commute as well. And I was musing, and yes, it's a bit of a, if you live in the UK anyway, it's a bit of a hairdresser's car. But I was musing as I drove, would it be a fun car to own? No, it's not a practical car for me to own at all, because I have a dog I currently only have an dog. We used to have 4 dogs. I can see in the future we will have more than an dog. So it's not at all sensible for me to even consider owning such a car. I mean, the car I own now is not very practical for having the dog that we have. I'm not sure how well he would fit in it because I've not tried yet. Because I own a 2-door Ford Fiesta. Or 3-door, technically, because the hatchback counts as a 3-door. A car I would love to see in this game because hot hatches are fun. My car is not a hot hatch, by the way. It's a lukewarm hatchback. But anyway, that's by the by. But yeah, I did think it would be kind of fun to have a car like that. My cousin. Here we go. This is when the lack of paying attention kicks in. And this is why we have the difficulty set how we do. My cousin had when I was maybe not even teenager, maybe younger than teenager. My cousin had a Triumph Spitfire. It was a 1.6, maybe? Or 1.3. He had 2 of them, in fact. I think he used the 2 of them to create one. Both convertibles, I think. A long time ago. And I remember going out for a ride in one of them once with my auntie driving. And it felt incredible. It wasn't a quick car at all. It struggled going up the hill near where they lived. But yeah, it was not a quick car at all. It was in fact an incredibly slow car. I'm giving back time. It was an incredibly slow car. And we have some work to do now in 2 laps. It was an incredibly slow car. But it felt really fast. It was really cool. It's all going pear-shaped. It's all going pear-shaped, folks. We've gone from 1st to 12th, and we've just been ploughed into the wall by the AI. Well, that's gone badly, hasn't it? And the car doesn't particularly feel like it wants to turn anymore. I tell you, folks, this track is my nemesis. One minor off has turned into 1st by 10 seconds to 16 seconds behind, and the car absolutely munched. And not going around the corner. Love to know how much damage there is to the car. I don't think we can afford to pit. At this point, I think we just got to try and salvage what we can. Yeah, so I'm going to blame my cousin for this entirely. Well, the car behind me is equally... I think, is that the guy that punted me? He could well be. He could well be. Yeah. Oh, it does not feel good. It does not feel good. This is going to be a heck of a repair bill as well. Oh, this is such a bad result. Tires are trashed. That's probably why it's not going around corners well. Have we got flat tires? No, we've got air in them. Got 2 more laps after this. Jeez. Brake, 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 brake. It's not happy under heavy braking. But let's see what we can do. See what we can do. Can we gain a few places back at least? Maybe. But yeah, pay attention when you're racing, folks. We can go right. We can go right, okay. That's good. That's good. The chicken did not hatch, folks. The chicken did not hatch. Or it was stillborn. The egg was not even laid. Wow. I'm having to steer a good 50% left to go in a straight line. And trying to brake for the chicane is just a joke. But we didn't get a track limit violation somehow. But we're in last. Well, this circuit is just my, yeah. This is the sort of thing that happened in the Porsche. I had a minor off, and it just turned into a spiral of destruction. And it sucks. But at least this is a short race. Give me a big track limit violation, huh? This is going to be not good for the teams that were maybe interested in us. Not good at all. Hey, if you just brake, the car starts to turn right. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah. Oh well. On to the next circuit, I guess. And a few evenings in the garage with the spanners. Yes, I know you're probably saying I'm the spanner. Yes. Just having to stay turning to go in a straight line is so confusing. As we go into the last lap. Tires are so cooked. I really want to look at the outside of the car, but I don't want to change the view because yeah, oh well. And typically the back tires are cooler than the front tires, and will sit at like 70 degrees or something. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. Can you tell I don't care anymore? Let's just finish the lap and be done. I'm kind of glad we can't permanently damage the car. Oh, that was not a good race. Is not a good race. Has not been a good race. Can I blame the controller? No. Well, we can. But that would be the person between the interface device and the chair. Rather than the PS4 controller that I'm playing with. Yeah. Yep. Oh well. La vie, folks. La vie. we roll on to the next race with a heavy, well, no, an empty wallet. Probably not a lot. There's no point even pushing, is there, at this point? Because we're not going to catch them. I like the damage that it's done to the bonnet. It's kind of nicely rendered, considering it's a custom livery. That lunge to the right was me applying the brakes. Yep. Come on, car. You can do it, little car. Oh well. Here's what it is, folks. Not our best day out. It's not. Well, I guess it might be, because did we get a fastest lap at least? Yeah, we got a fastest lap at least. That's something. I want to save the replay. Hopefully that won't break things. Just because that'll probably make a nice thumbnail. The smashed up car. But save replay was on a different button. Save replay. That was disappointing, folks. That was disappointing. Right. Let's so we've dropped to third in the championship, which is not awful. That is quite nasty. That is quite nasty. That looks better. I forgot to take a screenshot of where we finished, but I can grab that from the video. That's it, folks. Disappointed. We are headed to Nürburgring next time, which is 8 laps. That'll be the GP circuit, which is a circuit that I do enjoy. Hopefully we'll do better next time. See ya.